organization known as Indivisible began as an online guide to resisting the Trump agenda. Now it's given rise to a growing movement that's making itself heard on Capitol Hill, in offices, and at congressional town hall meetings.
Many of the group's founders have experience as congressional staffers themselves. They say they know just what it takes to influence elected representatives, and they want to get the information out. Here to discuss the Indivisible project is co-founder Ezra Levin. Ezra, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So this started as a Google document.
That's right. It was just a Google Doc that we put up with an embarrassing number of typos, but we got a lot of those fixed. And we have just been absolutely blown away by the response. The fundamental idea behind the Google Doc is that Donald Trump's agenda doesn't depend on Donald Trump. It depends on whether or not individual members of Congress, 2 senators and your representative, choose to resist or choose to rubber stamp. So the guide is all about how you can make your voice heard as a constituent.
You are unabashed about basically saying in some ways you took your inspiration from the Tea Party movement.
Oh, we are explicit that we took our inspiration from the Tea Party movement. Now, we're progressives who put it together, but we think they got a couple things right. We didn't agree with their policy ideology. We didn't agree with their aggressive, sometimes violent behavior, but they knew that a strategy of local defensive congressional advocacy works, and they knew how to implement it. This is Civics 101. This is going to congressional district offices. This is going to town halls. It's making calls to Congress. Anybody can do this. They got it right, and with that pressure, they really forced the hand of a historically popular president with huge congressional majorities. What we face now in the progressive movement is a historically unpopular president with minuscule margins in Congress. That strategy and those tactics can work today, and actually I would argue are working today.
What of the response from the elected representatives who've been privy to some of these raucous town halls? Jason Chaffetz says these were hired protesters. Dana Rohrabacher called them examples of political thuggery this week. What's your response to that?
These are their constituents who are coming out. So I would encourage them to do what representatives should do, which is listen to their constituents. We have examples of folks going and bringing Valentine's Day cards to the members of Congress, talking about what they're looking for them to do when they're in Congress. These are nurses, these are school teachers, these are everyday folks who have normal jobs. This isn't their profession, but they feel really strongly that the direction the nation is heading is unacceptable. So they're standing up and making their voices heard on their home turf.
You've grown into a movement with, you say, 100 volunteers. You are being accused on the right of getting funding from George Soros.
Yeah.
Is there any truth to that?
No, there's no truth to it. Look, as of Sunday, I'm executive director. Nobody has received a paycheck, though. This has been an entirely volunteer effort, working out of living rooms and in the nights, in the weekends, on sick days that people take. It is amazing how they're just lies, just come out there. And I think it's a lot easier and more convenient to believe that somehow somebody's pulling the strings on this. But in reality, this is an organic, locally led movement.
It is a new era for civic engagement, Ezra. Thanks for your time. Ezra Levin from the Indivisible Project.